We're rolling. Okay, cool. Aloha, everyone. As you can see, I am in a different setting right now, and that is because I'm at my day job, and it's a job that I truly love, working in retail with fine jewelry. And you probably have seen some pictures on Instagram and Facebook. If you haven't, that is my day job. So, why am I posting from work? Because as a sensitive person and a medium in my workspace, I oftentimes am aware of non-physical beings around me. This has been pretty consistent for me for quite some time. And so I thought I would share some info about that. Now, I have been in some places in which the beings felt not so great, kind of dark and not especially welcoming. Where I am right now, as you can see with the bright walls around me, the beings that are here on this property, or in at least that visit me in my space, are actually pretty fun. As a matter of fact, they were pranking me on Friday. I stepped out of the office in my morning setup, and when I came back, the store phone was in the middle of the floor. And also there's a little security camera out in the showroom that jumps off its nail from time to time and falls onto the floor. And so I have a lot of fun putting that back together again frequently. There's also a door that creaks. Now, I guess a sciencey person would say that it's just humidity and air conditioning and whatnot, but it can be absolutely quiet here for hours, and then all of a sudden the door does this little squeak, squeak, squeak thing. It almost sounds like a puppy or a baby. So I talk to the beings here. They seem non-intrusive, non-invasive, that they really don't want anything. They just seem to want me to notice that they're here. So initially I told them that they were messing with the wrong person and to be careful, but now they have changed from the squeaking and the things that weren't were attention getting but weren't necessarily fun or funny. Since I chastised them about that over and over, now they've started doing fun things by moving things around. And as long as it's not a piece of jewelry that can get damaged, I'm enjoying it. That said, that's my current situation. I have been in another situation before that was a little bit different. It was also a store that I loved, and with a team that I loved. They were an amazing team, and they were all sensitive and psychic and very much into shamanism and magic in their lives. But there was something in that store when I first came on board that I would catch out of the side of my eye from time to time, from the back office out to the front door. It was like this little black ball would zip past on the floor, and I noticed it a few times, and then it went from zipping past on the floor to zipping past up above, and it was like a black ball of soot is what it appeared to be. And when it was on the ground, I called it the black rat. So once it started flying around, I lost any kind of interest in playing nice with it. So I did bring in my power things, and I did do a little bit of work to clear the space. So yes, I did some smudging, I included crystals, and I did my own prayer or ceremony of intention. And that seemed to rid the space of that. And as I was working through that process, when I inquired what was this little rat, black rat, the information that I got was that it was a collective energy of disappointment. What did that mean? It was people who had been in the space before me that for one reason or another had become very disappointed when they were in that space. And I attributed that to the crash of 08, 09, when, well, I guess it started in 06 probably, the peak of the bubble when Lehman Brothers and all those banks closed up. A lot of businesses in a tourist town like Maui also closed. And while the store that I was in made it through that event relatively unscathed, I think some of the people that were working there were deeply affected by lack of sales, or perhaps having to move off island and move away from paradise and return back to the mainland. So I think it was just some residual disappointment energy clinging in that space. Once that was gone, I never saw the black rat again after I did the ritual and did the clearing. It was not to come back. So, what am I doing here? I'm inviting whoever it is to communicate with me if they need to, appropriately. Obviously, it's not appropriate for them to throw things on the floor if I'm with a client. Again, setting boundaries, having agreements, checking in with the non-physical beings that may or may not be here all the time, but defining what I am willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. So, if you've ever had some kind of a situation going on in your workplace, I encourage you to ask questions. Dialogue. If you can speak out loud, that's great. If you can't, perhaps try writing something down in a private space in your own little corner somewhere, and seeing if you can invite some communication with the beings to see what's going on, how you can help them, or why they're there, or if they need anything from you at all, or if they're not supposed to be there, how to help them move on. So, workplace sensitives, yes, we do get the spirits, we do get the non-physical entities here. I encourage you to explore it without fear. I encourage you not to make a judgment that it's necessarily a bad thing. Straight off the bat, I encourage you to invite a conversation, invite a dialogue, and keep yourself clean and clear. You don't need it following you home. Make your intentions known very, very clearly. So, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. You guys know how to find me, mediumbetsypalmer.com. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. A hui ho!